Hi, Zachary.
Hello.
What's up?
Nothing as much. Joe, you want to say hi?
Hello.
Hey.
Yep, don't leave. Yep, hopefully.
Bye-bye.
Hit it, Houdini.
Yeah, a good
No.
weekend.
Yes, and I could barely see your face. You look like you cover your.
Oh, yeah, I know. This mask is way up on my nose, but if I don't have it up there, then my glasses fog up, so.
Every time those Wonder helmets come like the black glass in front of you, and
Oh, yeah.
you ever try one of those or no?
No, I've never tried one of those. You ready to learn about playwriting?
Oh, great.
It'll be fun.
Oh, won't. You turn fun to learning.
I wonder where everybody is.
So you're back again? You want to see? Oh, you want to see your face?
No.
He's. You want to talk to her here?
Nah. I got school.
Okay.
You both doing online school?
Yes, and I'm watching opera music.
Oh. You like opera?
Yes.
I have stage managed for an opera before.
Oh.
Acis and Galatea. Good morning, Paige. How are you? I'm doing okay. I'm a little sleepy, but aren't we all? Good morning, Natalie. All right. Oh, we got Candace in here. It is 11 o'clock. We are going to obviously wait a couple of minutes to see if we pick up a couple more people who maybe didn't get the message about the schedule. But to be fair, I didn't get the message about the schedule until yesterday afternoon, so. So we will wait until 5 after, and then we're going to try to get through this whole lesson. I don't know if we're going to or not, because obviously when I made this lesson, I made it for 60 minutes instead of 50. So if we have to cut a couple of things on the fly, just bear with me. I looked at it earlier and cut a couple of things already just to try to make it easier on us. So for those of you who were confused by Monday, I apologize. I did not realize that they were not going to be able to get somebody to come into the Zoom. So I did send an email. I want you guys, if you did not take the test, to go ahead and do it maybe this evening. Or sometime before Friday. I have changed it so that you have a second attempt on the test. So if you did not get a grade that you're happy with on the test, you can retake it. So I would suggest that you take advantage of that. Of course, you will be able to retake it if you still aren't happy with that grade. But I'm going to let you have until Friday to retake it without any penalties. So if you get, you had a 60 on it and you study, and Friday afternoon you take it and you get a 90, well, then you get a 90. Okay, great, wonderful. Yes, you can retake the test. You have a second opportunity to retake the test if you want to, without any penalties. If you're happy with your grade, then don't retake the test. It is not mandatory. But if you want to retake the test, then you can, okay? Because, or if you didn't take it at all, take the test before Friday. But yeah, you don't have to. It's just if you would like to, you have the option to do so, okay? And I'm mostly doing that because of all the confusion, and I wasn't here, and people didn't check their Schoolage email, so they didn't know what was going on. I was at the doctor's office and I was getting other teachers messaging me about like, why didn't I have my Zoom open? And I was like, well, because I'm waiting to get seen by my doctor. So I understand that it was confusing. But yeah, if you're happy with your grade, then you don't have to do anything. If you want to retake the test, you can. Is that cool with everybody? I'm waiting for any sort of response. Paige says yes. Some of you took the test and got just like, I mean, I wouldn't even be able to curve this test if I wanted to grade on a curve, because I think we had some 96s, 97s, 98s. So there wouldn't really be much of a curve to do. So, all right, let's go ahead and get started. I have a feeling we'll pick up a few more people as time goes on, but maybe not. We'll go ahead and begin. So we're going to talk about playwriting today. This is going to be the beginning of our playwriting segment, okay? And we're going to specifically be talking about the history of playwriting. Now, I made this before I started messing around with Nearpod, so we'll be using the chat for today for our participation, okay? Just to give you a heads up. This is not as, how do I want to say this? I'm going to give you a lot of options for playwrights here, just so that you can see the kinds of playwrights that you can study, the kinds of topics that are being written about. So this is sort of like a little sampling. So we're going to talk about how playwriting started. I'm going to give you a very quick and dirty rundown on a bunch of famous playwrights that you may or may not have heard of. You're going to choose a writer, good grief, a writer that you think you might relate to and do some research about them. And then we'll talk about your homework for next class and dialogue. Okay, so what were some of the first plays that we have that were written? So where did some of those plays come from? Tell me about them. Ancient Greece. Yep, that's one of them. Where else? Ancient Rome, correct. Anybody have any? England. Yep, we've got some from England. Good, good. France. Okay. We did not go over the Asian theater here, right? But if we had India, China, Japan, right? We've got some really old plays, like 2,600, 3,000 years old. Korea, yes, exactly, Isaac, good. All right. Some of the playwrights that we've talked about previously, and what kinds of plays did they write? So what do you remember as far as genre goes? You can come off your mute too. Realism, okay. Who wrote realism? Do we remember? Ibsen, right? Good. Who else? Let's see. Gabrielle, name a playwriter and a play that they wrote, or a type of play they wrote.
Jurassic and the Three Sisters.
Good. Yep. And that was realism, right? Chekhov. Good. Evelyn, how about you? What kinds of plays, what genres have we talked about so far? I don't know if Evelyn can hear me yet. No, guess not. Let's see. Let's go to Desiree. What genres of plays have we talked about so far? Are you there, Desiree? Somebody help her out. Main genres of plays that we've discussed. What are they? We've really talked about two, and we've hinted at a couple other ones. Well, all plays are drama. Comedy, yes. Tragedy, comedy and tragedy. Remember the whiteboard? Didn't I make the whiteboard in this class too? Right? All plays are dramas. Some are comedies. Some are tragedies. Some from Shakespeare have another one. Do you guys remember what the genre we talked about specifically with Shakespeare was? Royalty is a good guess. It was about royalty. It's histories. Okay. Nope. All plays are drama. All plays are drama. Okay. I cannot emphasize this enough. All plays are drama. Drama is not a genre. Okay. All plays are drama. Tragedy, comedy, history. Period pieces are they're a genre now, but they weren't then, if that makes sense. Okay. But you're starting to sort of get the hang of it. All right. So, who would like to read our definition of a playwright? Can I get a volunteer? Who's got a mic that works? Natalie, I know your mic works. Haha.
Okay, definition of a playwright. Right, someone who crafts or creates things.
Yep. The word first appeared in 1605 by Ben Jonson. When have we talked about him before? Who did he know?
Shakespeare.
Yeah. So he was actually using it in a negative way. He was talking about John Marston, that it was a negative thing. So it's not actually used positively until the 1900s. So a playwright is someone who crafts or creates plays, right? That's why it's spelled with WRIGHT instead of WRITE, right? Right? I'm putting that in the chat, right? So a playwright is the person who creates plays. All right. So I'm going to talk to you about some playwrights. This is not by any means of a stretch of the imagination, a complete list. I just picked some playwrights that I thought you guys might be interested in and are accessible, easier to find. You can find inspiration with another writer, or if you already know a playwright that you like. Okay. I just wanted to introduce you to some people throughout history that might be interesting to you, that you might want to maybe do your playwright project on. Okay. So you might want to jot down these names. If any of these names sound particularly interesting, then you might want to jot that down to look at. Okay. All right. So let's go to the first one. Some female playwrights. Jasmine, can you read this one for us? Read the first one. Are you there, Jasmine? I don't know if her mic works or not.
Yeah, my bad.
Okay, it's all right. Read the first one. It's Aphra Behn.
You said what?
Aphra Behn?
A spy, a playwright, and one of the first women to make a living by writing. Her most famous play was The Rover.
Good. Kennedy, read us Wendy Wasserstein.
Tony Award and
Pulitzer?
Pulitzer Prize winner. Feminist. Her most famous plays, The Hetty Chronicles. I was in this once.
Yeah, exactly. I was in that play my freshman or sophomore year of college. That's okay, Monserrat. Let's see. How about Calandis? Read us about Susan Laurie Parks.
Okay. The first Black woman to win a Pulitzer for Top Dog and Underdog.
Exactly. All right. So here's some examples of some female playwrights that I thought that you might find interesting. So if any of the ideas of these interest you, maybe jot that down. Playwrights of color. Let's see. Aaliyah, why don't you read us about Alexander Dumas? You there, Aaliyah? I don't know if she can hear me either. Okay, we'll come back to her. Emily, why don't you read about Mr. Dumas for us? No? Anybody with a mic want to volunteer? Okay, well, it's the same Dumas who wrote The Three Musketeers. But he actually wrote before that plays. So he was a Frenchman. Then we have Isaac. Why don't you read about Langston Hughes?
Langston Hughes, the poet and activist who also wrote 6 plays during the time of the Harlem Renaissance.
Yes, exactly. And then August Wilson. Have you guys ever heard of August Wilson before? You have? Okay. A couple of people have, a couple of people haven't. So he wrote Fences and Piano Lessons. He gave a voice to what it was like to be Black in the inner cities of Chicago and Philadelphia in the 1980s. So there's some ideas for some playwrights of color that you might be interested in reading about. All right, award-winning playwrights. We start off with Lin-Manuel Miranda. So of course he's known for Hamilton, but one of his other plays that was on Broadway, In the Heights, another play about immigration, is also very good. Check out the soundtrack, and the movie was supposed to come out this year, and now it's coming out next year. Let's see. Montserrat, why don't you read us about Tracy Letts? Oh, you don't know if your mic works? Okay, that's fine. Yes, Isaac, he did write for Moana. You're right. So Tracy Letts wrote August of Osage County, but he's also an actor. He starred in Edward Albee's Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf. A lot of his plays are about families falling apart. And the last person I put on here was Jonathan Larson, who unfortunately died very young, but he was the mastermind who wrote Rent. So if you're a musical theater fan, you probably know Rent. And that was done by Jonathan Larson. Okay, last one. Some people you've probably heard of. Oscar Wilde, who wrote The Importance of Being Earnest, one of the most popular comedy of manners. Arthur Miller, The Crucible, Death of a Salesman, A View from the Bridge, who writes about realistic characters who are flawed, troubled, and everyday people. George Bernard Shaw, who wrote Pygmalion, Major Barbara, and St. Joan. He writes commentaries on modern politics and his support of socialism. Pygmalion got turned into My Fair Lady. And Tony Kushner, who writes things like Angels in America, A Bright Room Called Day, Caroline or Change, plays that address racial inequality and LGBTQIA issues. Have you guys heard of any of these playwrights before? Yes? Yes? Okay, good. All right, so what we're going to do is I want you to pick one of these playwrights, or if you want to work with another one, you can. All right, that's fine. And I want you to either pick that playwright that sounds interesting or look up plays based on a topic that means something to you, right? If you can't find a play, let me know and I'll help you. You may have to try a few times to find a play that seems really interesting, and that's okay. Because I want you to use this time to find a source of inspiration for you, whether you like the writing style, the plot, the subject matter, the characters. And if you don't already have a library card, let me know. I will help you register for one because you guys can all get a free library card from the Arlington Library. And then you can also borrow ebooks from them, which is what I do a lot now instead of going into the library. They use a program where you can pretty much get any book that you want through the library. All right. So figure out what it is that you think you might, if you want to research one of these people, if you have a topic in mind, if you have another playwright in mind. And I want to give you some time to work on this. Okay. I'm going to give you, let's see, got 30 minutes left. Let's do 20 minutes. And in the next 20 minutes, I want you to find some playwright or a play that you're going to read about or read the play. Okay? So by 11:40, we're going to come back and I want you to tell me what you found. And if you need help, let me know. Any questions? Do you understand what we're doing? Once you found your thing, I'm going to make a Padlet and you'll be able to put the topic or the person or the play into the Padlet. That'll make it easy for us to sort of share what. So I'm going to work on the Padlet and I'll post the link once I'm done. Nope, it doesn't have to be one of the playwrights I spoke about. If there's somebody else that you already know that you think is interesting, go ahead. That's fine with me. I'm posting the Padlet in here. And when you know what you think you want to start with. Now, this does not mean you have to do your project on this person. Okay. I just want you to start thinking about people you might be interested in or plays that you might be interested in. Oh, sorry, I posted that link just to Montserrat. There's the Padlet. You can do either, Kennedy. You can pick a person, a playwright, pick a playwright or a play. And if there's a topic you're really interested in, but you can't find any plays about it, let me know and I'll try to help you figure that out. And then once you know what you think you're going to work on or where you want to start, you'll post it on the Padlet. And make sure you put your name on it too, so that I know who. See, a few of you have already picked some people. That's great. Yes, it can be a person and a play. You can pick a specific play by a playwright. That's fine. Paige, right now, you can either research the playwright or the play. I don't want you to like, so if you decide, let's say you're like, I really love Tennessee Williams, you don't have to decide right now which play by Tennessee Williams you're going to do, right? And just make sure that you have your name on it. Yeah, I don't want you to have to like nail down for sure. Like if one of these playwrights sounds good, but you don't know what play you want to do yet, like that's totally cool. Yeah, you can do that, Eliana. Just somewhere in the Padlet, so that way I know who did it. So whoever put Tennessee Williams, go ahead and put it in the Padlet. So whoever put in Tennessee Williams, I need you to put your name in there too, please. So I've got In the Heights by Lin-Manuel Miranda. We see Tennessee Williams. I don't know who posted that. I need you to add your name, please. Rent by Jonathan Larson. Medea's Big Happy Family by Tyler Perry for Gabrielle. I went to, when I was in grad school in Ohio, we were very close to Detroit, and he had like he gave like a talk about Medea at our school for us, which was pretty cool. Okay, Isaac. Thank you, Isaac. So then, Isaac, you can start thinking about maybe what play you think you want to do with Tennessee Williams. We've got about 10 minutes left for this. And like I said, you're not locked in. If you change your mind, that's okay. I just wanted to give you some time to like sort of start Googling around and seeing if any of these playwrights register with you. Any of these sound interesting. Okay, somebody's picked Romeo and Juliet. I need you to put your name on it, though. Dominique Mousseau. Okay, very cool. Make sure you put your name on it. So I don't know who put Romeo and Juliet. I need you to put your name on it, please. Okay, Evelyn, all right. Ain't Too Proud, Natalie, that's a good pick. All right, we've got a Phantom of the Opera. Have you ever seen Phantom, Paige? Yes, but not all of it. Okay. Oh, you watched some of it last year in theater. I see. Okay. All right. I saw it in, I was near Niagara Falls. Can't remember what side of the Canadian border I was on though. Got about 7 minutes. Again, just remember that you're not going to have to do your project on this, but it's good to start thinking about what you think you're going to do your project on. I want you to sort of get the wheels turning as early as possible so that you don't have to rush. Okay, Kennedy, do you have anybody in mind yet or not yet? Okay, that's okay. You can start narrowing it down. Maybe use like topic subjects, like to help you narrow it down. Like maybe you want to write about women of color who are feminists. Maybe you want to talk about playwrights who are women of color who talk about, you know, slavery, or women of color who are playwrights who talk about marriage, right? You know, you can sort of, you're still thinking, Shun? Okay. We've got about 5 minutes left. If you don't have like a concrete sort of answer, you can put in a topic maybe that you're thinking of if you need to. Like maybe you're really interested in physics. Well, is there a play about physics? There is, by the way. So let's see. I don't have anything yet from Emily or Ayat or Desiree. Sean, I know, is still thinking. Don't see Isabella, Kyler, Aaliyah, or Zachary. So I'll post the Padlet again. Oh, I see somebody's down there writing. Yes, Emily, that is one. You could do that. Okay. We've got Zachary is thinking about Death of a Salesman. We've got Shun who's thinking about A Raisin in the Sun. The Crucible by Arthur Miller. I was in that one too. The Piano Lesson by August Wilson from Montserrat. All right. Couple of minutes. I've almost heard from everybody. Well, look it up, my dear. It was the original. Mark Shaman with a C. Yeah, there you go. All right. So let's see. Who haven't I heard from? I've got Kennedy. I don't have Kyler. I've got Montserrat. Do I have, yeah, I've got Natalie. I've got Paige. I've got Shun. I've got Zachary. I'm missing Ayat. I'm missing Aaliyah. I'm missing Desiree. I think that might be who I'm missing. Okay, so if those of you who have not come up with something, please go ahead and do so. Yep, yours is up, Emily. You're good. I see yours right now. It took its sweet time, but Desiree says Hamlet. Okay. Okay. All right. So I need you to finish this for your homework if you have not thought of someone and posted it already. Okay. So here we've got what we've come up with so far. Okay. As I said before, you are not locked in. Yeah, Aaliyah, you can do that. You are not locked into this if you change your mind, if you start working on it and you don't like what you're reading, or, it seems like way too much. You can change your mind. I just want you to start somewhere. Okay. So this is our starting point. You're going to start researching this, start trying to find a copy of it to read. Okay. And if you have trouble finding a copy of it to read, let me know. Okay, so this is your homework. As we move into playwriting, I want you to write down interesting bits of conversation that you hear, whether it's from YouTube, TV, real life, whatever. So you hear somebody say something interesting, jot it down. All right. Then I want you to start thinking about why did you find those conversations interesting? What about them made them worth writing down? And you're going to bring those with you to our next class, which is going to be about dialogue. Okay. So you're going to need to have these actually written down for the next class. Questions about the homework? So all you have to do is keep a little notebook on you or write it in your phone for notes. And when you hear somebody say something interesting, you just write what they said down. That's it. This is a very common writing exercise in creative writing classes, or playwriting classes. Nope, it doesn't have to be about your topic. It can be about anything that you hear that's interesting. Just what people say. So you're observing real people and writing down sort of what they said that you thought was interesting and why you thought it was interesting. So we're going to use that for our characters, okay? Because we're basically having two projects going on right now. You've got your research project that you're going to be working on mostly outside of class. That's going to be on maybe this topic that you've decided on today. And then you're going to have your practice at writing actual text, writing a short script in class. Okay? So two different things are going on right now. This one's about sort of helping you find things that you might be able to use in your short stories, your short dialogues. All right? So, exit ticket in Schoology. Which playwright did you find interesting and why? Do you relate to the topics that they wrote about? So why did you pick them? Okay. Now, I did send a message about how a lot of you have been doing the exit tickets early. And I just want to remind you that they're called exit tickets because they come at the end of a lesson, right? It's for me to see if you've sort of taken in what we've talked about. So if you're doing them like 2 days before the lesson even starts, well, you haven't like actually been taught anything yet on the subject matter, right? So I don't want to have to go through and like make it so that they only show up or at the end of each class or whatever. I'd rather not go through all that rigmarole. So I'm just going to trust that you guys can wait to do the exit tickets until it's time to do them. Okay. And as I mentioned, I'll just start deleting early responses that I get because you shouldn't be posting them early anyway. So that's your exit ticket. You've got your homework. You've got your exit ticket. And that's basically it about just an introduction, a loose introduction to what a playwright does and some examples of some great playwrights that If you haven't heard of them before, now you know. Your homework, slide before, the one about this one right here, writing down interesting bits of conversation that you hear and bring them with you to class. That's the homework. It should be in Schoology, Calandus. Let me double check. Because I've seen people turning them in already. Okay, let's see. Courses, 4A, class content. Yeah, history of playwriting exit ticket, submissions enabled. So there you go. So that's all you got to do. Do that exit ticket. And for your homework, start listening in. Listen to the way that people talk. Listen to the things that people say. And when you think something's interesting, you write it down and then you reflect on why. Why was that worth writing down? This is the exact same exercise that I did in my intro to creative writing class in college. So that's where this is coming from. Normally they'd say like, go to the mall and sit down and listen to people as they pass by, or go sit at a coffee shop, but we can't do those things, right? So that's why, I said, you can do it from stuff you hear on TV, stuff you hear on YouTube, stuff your family says. Okay, my friends, once you have the exit ticket done, you are free to go. I will talk to you on Thursday. Have a good half day. And email me if you've got any questions between now and then. Bye. Nope, on Monday you were just taking the test. Also, remember to retake the test if you didn't get a good grade on it. You have a great day too. Goodbye.